Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we're going to be discussing the power of just two versions of Optimus Prime, and another one that's going to be pretty underrated over the years. So let's start off with IDW Optimus Prime, alright? And we're going to start off with his hexes pertaining to the Matrix of Leadership. So the Matrix of Leadership actually allows and gives Optimus Prime a plethora of abilities, such as his ability to not only have cosmic awareness, meaning he's actually attuned with his very universe, in tune with an infinite universe, by the way, but he's also able to create life. This is something that he found out later on during the IDW run and still has yet to really test it. However, his mastery over the Matrix of Leadership actually puts him at a much different level than even the other primes, such as the Unicron Trilogy and Alternity. However, the Matrix actually gives Optimus Prime the power of conceptual erasure. This is actually one of the most powerful forms of erasure, as it erases the person's very concept itself, even being so powerful as to erase Unicron avatars from existence permanently. This even includes their sparks, which are still portions of his true form. We then have the sheer fact that he's also got regeneration. He's immortal, and that's probably later on in the video, but I guess I put it in the weird spot. But he has regeneration, and he actually has full manipulation, like I said earlier, of the Matrix of Leadership. You see, this allows Optimus to do a plethora of things, such as turning it into beams and even energy balls. So Optimus could literally blast you with this energy and erase you from existence. Doesn't matter if you're immune to this either, because he's erasing, again, living abstract or living conceptual beings. Also, he's more powerful than the Star Saber. The reason why this is because Victorian states the Matrix itself is on par with the true Star Saber. You know, the same Star Saber that could one-shot the Infinite Transformers multiverse. Yeah, so it's absolutely ridiculous when you think about it here. And again, Optimus Prime has mastered this. He has full control over it. So it's very possible that his range of attack is much stronger than the true Star Saber. You also have the fact that this guy has done some incredible things, like his Heart of Steel version of himself, which has been able to beat Elder Gods. You know, the same Elder Gods that can not only breach into other multiverses, such as G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, and I think that's Vampirella on the side or whatever. You know, other multiverses, obviously. But they also exist outside of space and time regularly. All right, so they exist possibly outside of the universal stream here. But again, with that being said here, this puts this Optimus Prime, I would say, in the mid tier or the mid outerversal category. But let's go over the other feats and I'll show you why, right? So this Optimus Prime obviously gets immortality due to the sheer fact that the Matrix of Leadership pretty much keeps him alive. And as you guys saw from his regeneration, dude had no arm. Like, bro had no arm. No nothing. And was still fine. Still alive, right? But let's go over to his actual physical feats, because that's what we really came here for, know what I'm saying? So Optimus Prime himself is actually capable of punching and cracking 6 shots armor. Now, 6 shots armor is actually made of Unutrium. This is a metal that was forged inside of a collapsed star, aka a black hole. Yeah, so Unutrium being made out of pretty much black hole material, pretty much like you forge this metal within black holes, basically making it out of black holes, and Optimus Prime is capable of shattering it. I'm pretty sure he could probably crack Thor's hammer if he wanted to. Maybe even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, or maybe even nth and 10th metal. You never know. Optimus Prime has also been able to overpower characters like Nova Prime in the in the Dead Universe, where he has full control over it. And here's the thing about Nova Prime, right? And I probably could have done this for, my Grimlock video or my Galvatron video. But again, I'm still learning as things go along with the research I do in the comic books I read. But the thing about this is, Nova Prime not only had control over the Dead Universe, right? This very specific, his own Dead Universe, because there's multiple actually. But he was going to merge everything together to create his own one true universe that he controlled. He was actually threatening to do this. But again, let's keep it going. Optimus Prime has also been able to defeat Thunderwing. Yeah. You know, the same Thunderwing that could cause destruction across the Transformers universe. Yeah, crazy, right? Being able to cause destruction, cause shockwaves across it, right? And this is a Headmaster Thunderwing. Now, Headmasters are actually giving a, let's see, what did Shockwave say? Oh yeah, he said it was a 60% increase in power when they combine. However, there are some flaws, like they're much more emotional, or they're much more, I guess you could say they're much more emotional and much more prone to fear. Optimus Prime is also incredibly good in hand-to-hand combat. I wouldn't say better than characters like Skids, but he is a master at hand-to-hand combat, and has used it to take down characters like Megatron, who is a master at hand-to-hand combat himself. You also have the fact that he's been able to punch through combiners such as Monstructor and Devastator. You know, combiners that can go somewhat toe-to-toe and somewhat overpower. Omega Supreme, you know, the regular combiner bully himself. He's also incredibly durable. He's taken blasts from Nova Prime and actually managed to put Nova Prime down at that moment. This is when Galvatron wasn't watching, by the way. He's taken stumps from freaking Trypticon, for crying out loud, and this was after Trypticon tanked everything he had. He's been able to beat down Combaticons like Onslaught, who's in the Super Soldier Transformer category. You know, he's been able to fight against characters like, I think Overlord. He also should be superior to a lot of his other Autobots like Ironhide, who's been able to harm Devastator. He should be superior to pretty much every member of his faction except for Grimlock. Even probably superior to some Decepticons like Overlord and Tyrant. However, his firepower is also next to none, being able to pretty much dismantle Menasor with ease, and he did this by himself, by the way. He also one-shot Soundwave and he hit the head. I mean, like, Jesus. He's also been able to knock out Galvatron and Cyclonus with the help of Rodimus, and that would actually make them relative to each other. And he's also been able to tank attacks from a Shockwave that was controlling 2 universes. So overall, where would I put this Optimus Prime? Now, while I do believe Galvatron is still physically superior to him, I do think that if he hits that boy with the Matrix, it's GG. So I would definitely put IDW Optimus into the Outerversal category, but in more or less like a Hulk or Thor type of Outerversal category, if you guys get what I mean. However, much more hacks and much more advanced than them. So without further ado, let's head into Alternity Optimus Prime. Not having as many feats as the others, such as Unicron Trilogy or, IDW, obviously, Alternative Optimus Prime is still one of the top 3. Hear me out. Top 3 strongest Optimus Primes out there. All right? He's still top 3. I would definitely say he's the second strongest. And this is because he was able to fight and defeat a Megatron powered by Hytherian. Now, who was Hytherian? Hytherian is basically, he's basically Transformers' version of Galactus. I'm not even gonna, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. He really is that version of Galactus. Kind of like the one from the Fantastic Four movie, except he's actually able to eat time itself and actually gains a power boost from it. You know? It's actually just, he's just way beyond, he's way beyond anything. And Megatron Alternity Megatron also absorbed him into him, actually controlled him and managed to absorb him, and thus gaining his powers and abilities. Now, keep in mind the Alternities are actually equal to Hytherian. So imagine having an Alternity who already has Outerversal categories, Outerversal stats, but you add another layer of Outerversal to it. Yeah, and considering he's able to eat time itself, which means he can actually consume the Universal Cluster or the Universal Time Streams, which are basically an amalgamation of all realities put together. So this means that Megatron was so powerful that he could have consumed all reality. And here you have Alternity Optimus Prime and the rest of the Autobots not only fighting against him, but fighting on par with him, but actually beating him in the end and freeing Hytherian to go on his way. Because let's be real, Hytherian is just trying to survive. He's not really, he's more like a force of nature. You really can't really say that he's evil. So with that being said, I definitely say this Optimus Prime definitely has the Autoversal categories. But today we're going to have a bonus one. And we're actually going to scale Primal Prime. Now, Primal Prime is the living embodiment of the Matrix of Leadership. He's actually is like a living Matrix of Leadership. And I already scaled that. You know, able to one-shot the infinite multiverse and actually equal to the true Star Saber, which is able to do that. So imagine a living Matrix and a living being, right? But however, he's actually much stronger than Optimus Primal or probably even IDW Optimus Prime himself. But this is because of the VOC. The VOC are beings who exist outside of the Transformers multiverse and outside of the Universal Cluster. And not only did they make Primal Prime, but they merged with him. All right. Now, he doesn't really have too much to really go off of, but being able to not only exist on that plane where they sit outside of your time and space, outside of all your reality, but the sheer fact that they merged with him on top of it, this gives this Cybertronian, one of the most broken power levels I have ever seen. Possibly into the inaccessible layers of Outerversal. But again, I do have to do a bit more research before I get into that. However, I would definitely say he's into the high Outerversal categories. Possibly rivaling or possibly, being on the same tier as Unicron Trilogy Optimus Prime. But anyway, that's going to be all for today here. IDW Optimus gets the Outerversal category, probably in like the mid tier, same as characters like Base, Hulk, and Thor. And then you have Alternity Optimus Prime, definitely in the Skyfather tiers of Outerversal. And then you have Primal Prime, who is definitely in the high Outerversal category. So anyway, that's going to be all for today. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.